So the morning, Saturday, October 7th, where were you and what was it that you felt and experienced that day when you saw the atrocities?
Well, I was in the synagogue, and I remember listening to the siren the first time. Actually, the first siren I heard it was in the house, and I was on my way to the synagogue. And I was wondering because I remember a few years ago the few missiles that came here to Jerusalem. So we waited a few minutes in the house, and then when I saw that it was done, I just took myself and went to the synagogue because I didn't imagine that there is anything different than the past. And obviously it's a holiday for us, so we were not supposed to listen to the news. We closed the radios. So we came back home after the prayer, obviously being very disturbed and confused. And slowly the news came out because some people, listen to the media. So when we went out of the synagogue, people told us that something horrible has been taking place. And obviously the following day where all the news came out and we understood that our life will never be the same.
Now, you mentioned the sirens and rockets. This is something that obviously over the last 18 plus years has happened many times.
That's right.
But the scale of this attack, when you came to understand the scale of it, the horrors, can you describe your thoughts, your feelings, your experience?
I felt devastated. I felt that it was such a deep violation of neighbors that I know as a fact, because I'm listening always to certain medias and certain websites, that the people lived in Gaza, the Israelis, were actually friendly with the Gaza people out there. Somehow, when the gates were open and workers come and go, that there was some kind of a civilized relationship. And to know that in no time they can slaughter, rape, kidnap, kill. Doesn't matter if you're Jews or not. They just, even the Thailands that were there in that settlement, they just slaughtered them, they killed them. And there's one way you kill, but there is another way which is not only barbaric, I don't have a name for it. Because how can you cut off heads? You kill them already. Why rape? You want to kill someone, kill them and leave. Let's say they have such a thought that they are coming to free. How can it be in such a barbaric way to dehumanize human being that we have to look at ourselves and ask, and I'm asking, is there a part in us that can be like that? It scares me to know that there are out there human beings who have so much. It's beyond hatred. It's way beyond hatred. Because, there is a saying, when you hate, you can love. When you love, you sometimes hate. Because we live in the two oppositions, emotions in our nature. But that's not about hate and love. This is about being worse than animals. Animals are better than them because animals don't attack only for food. They don't just attack like that, and they don't slaughter their foe because they don't like them. No, it's the survival of the fittest. But over here, it's not about survival of the fittest. The world has to know Gaza can be Switzerland. The billions of dollars that all the world has given them because they feel mercy for them and pity for them. Nice of you to be so merciful, the world, society, it's very nice of you. But one intention is very far from action. You can have good intentions, but the deed is horrific, is wrong. They have a right to live in a civilized way as we have a right. And we never took that right from them. As a matter of fact, Israel could have sent 1 or 2, 3 missiles and destroy all Gaza. We have those weapons. We receive them. We develop them. We could do it, but we don't. We give the phone calls to all the people, get out of Gaza, citizens, because we are not here to kill you. We are here to finish with Nazis, worse than Nazis. Even the Nazis, you have to know, people who survived the Holocaust will tell you that they didn't kill themselves. They gave others the ability to kill. These people are worse. Now, if the world will keep silent or will criticize the Jews and Israel, the blood is in your hands. And you know what? It may come to your homes. And I tell you why. Because Germany took 1 million Arabs. Act of kindness. There is no children in Germany, so therefore let's bring citizens into this world. They allow millions of Arabs to come to Germany, and I hope those Arabs will learn and adapt some civilization there. But to know that among them may come one day a group of people who will do those horrendous, horrible, horrific actions in their land, I wonder how any German will feel.
Well, we've already seen how, not just in Germany, but so many of these European nations, when they opened up their borders years ago and allowed so many of these Muslim immigrants to come in, 90% of which are men and young men at that, we've seen statistically that violent crimes immediately began to skyrocket in every single one of these
and this is
nations.
this is what I'm trying to say, that we have to differentiate between good intentions that follow good actions. And there is a huge gap between the two. Then something is wrong about us, in our perception, in our conception, in the way we see the world, how we want it to be. Obviously, personally, I can tell you, all Israel, all we want is peace. Peace with our neighbors. All we want is some kind of a civilized society that can respect one another and love one another. Because this is the essence of a Jew, and this is the essence of an Israeli. As a matter of fact, here in this land, we have Muslims who chose to be Israeli citizens. And we give them the rights to be in every place in society. We have doctors, we have pharmacists, we have workers in every place. They have supermarkets, they work in our supermarkets, they work in our pharmacies. We respect them. They have car services, they take us, Israelis take us, Muslims take us, Arabs, call them whatever you want. And we gave them the ability to choose. Do you want to be Israeli citizens or you want to be Palestinians? Choose. And when they made the choice, I could tell you the majority of them enjoy being Israeli citizens. They may have a hard time saying it loud because there is such a pressure among the Arabs to, as if, support Palestine, free Palestine, and all that nonsense. But I wonder, what do they feel today when they know that their fellow religious, they are connected by religion, but are they connected by their values? And this is the question I'm asking myself, because I know that if you choose to be an Israeli citizen, you will be respected, but respect has to be mutual. So I do hope that those who are Arabs and know that what the Hamas did was a violation of their religion, because I don't believe in the Muslim religion there is any quote that says, A, that Jerusalem belongs to them, because the word Jerusalem doesn't exist in the Quran, doesn't even once the word Jerusalem. And if they understand that God has given the land to Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, and then to his children, Bnei Israel, and all the prophets say so, and the prophets has been taking place. You know, there was a big rabbi, Rabbi Akiva. He was walking when Jerusalem was destroyed in the gates of Jerusalem, and where there were faxes walking in Jerusalem. And that's exactly what the prophet said, that's going to happen to Am Israel, that faxes will walk in the high holy places. And the group of those rabbis walked there, and they started to cry. And Rabbi Akiva was smiling. And they said, what smile has to be here? Where do you bring that smile? And he said something amazing that belongs to our days. He said, listen, the prophets who prophesied for the destruction of Israel is taking place. But there are also prophets of prosperity and hope that the Jews will come to their land. And if I know that the negative took place, moreover, the positive will take place. And we live during this time. We live during the time where God said, Jews, no more. No more exile. No more diaspora. Come to your land. But we needed the support of the nations. Because in Song of Songs, another prophet, King Solomon, has taught us we need the support of the nations to come back, to allow us to come back and to help us. So we are to fulfill this promise by the nations. If you don't want to support us by money, but at least keep silent by criticizing us. Because this criticism is wrong. It's wrong from the core. We want peace exactly that, like the liberals. We want society to thrive and grow, and diversity is excellent. We have to know, not on the accounting of slaughtering people, on raping them, and kidnapping them.
When it comes to the extreme anti-Semitism that we see spreading so rapidly throughout the world and particularly through the Western nations, yes, mostly among the younger generation, what are your thoughts about how do we combat this anti-Semitism, this raw hatred of the Jewish people simply for being Jewish?
I always believed that the new generation would have the values and the understanding of questioning things and not taking them as they are. I always believe that the new generation is the one who is going to ask all possible questions and will leave an open mind for at least to seek truth. But I see that it's being tainted, the perception, because media is ruling our views. And if in the media it's not going to make a fundamental transformation of really seeking truth and not saying, no, I get billions of dollars from this society, therefore I have to allow that voice to come out. You think you're giving all voices, but that's not true. It's not about all voices. It's about seeking truth. Let's have what we call a division between false and truth. And don't tell me the truth is relative. Yes, it is true that there is some relativity in truth. But there is a very, very clear line where we cannot cross.
There are absolutes in this world, and we need to stand on those absolutes.
Right. And there are certain things that all societies agree, that every human being has a right to live. Yes, of course the Palestinians have a right to live. Who said they don't? Why, did we initiate attack and we want to go and kill people? Fact, we have millions of citizens that their root is Muslim and Arabs, and they thrive among us.
That's right. 20% of the Israeli population is Arab.
So, we're talking about truth and false. Please, the world has to wake up. We can't allow people who have the means because they have the dollars to have the main voice. That is, in the core, is wrong for humanity. All the liberal people are supposed to wake up their eyes and see what you think. We don't want the same thing like you. We don't want society to thrive and be open and free to develop and show diversity. Of course we do.
And I've seen that for myself. I've been here in Israel, and the shalom, the peace that I have felt from the Jewish people, and their genuine love for life, yes, but also for their fellow man, whether they be Jewish or whether they be Christian or whether they be Muslim.
Any human being.
Yes.
Any human being. There is a Mishnah in Pirkei Avot, in the Ethics of the Fathers, where it says, Chaviv Adam shenivra b'tzelem. A human being is lovable because he was created in the image of God. And then it says, חיבה יתרה נודעת לו שהוא אדם, because God made sure to write it down. God made sure that a man should know that he's lovable. Human being is the most lovable entity in the face of the earth because God created him. So we have an obligation. It's part of our ethics to love every human being.
Amen. What do you say to those voicing that narrative that, morally speaking, Israel and the IDF is comparable to Hamas, that they're morally the same?
I recommend them to see videos where the army of Israel, before they go into Gaza, what do? They sing songs of hope. They don't sing songs of let's kill them. They only say, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. That the Lord is one. And Am Yisrael has promised God to serve God and to be the one who will show humanity what does it mean, the loving kindness of God that has created this unbelievable world for us to be good, to be nice, to be loving each other, to respect each other. Yes, we all have borders, and nationalism is a very big value that we appreciate. Yeah, but our borders, as we all know, are open. Anyone who wants peace with us, the borders are open, come visit. Just prior to this horrendous war. I've been walking in Jerusalem, and thousands of tourists from all over the world come to pray in the Western Wall, in their churches, in their mosques. And we're all open for them, for all religions. Come, please, pray. Send your thank you to God. So, was there any time in history where Am Yisrael welcomed the world? It was always like that, but moreover in our time. Let the world recognize truth and stay away from false. It's not about bad and good. It's about truth and false. Once we will establish that, all the young generations should ask for peace for the world and make sure that those who stand for evil, and evil means to hate for the sake of hate, for no purpose, because it's not about the land. It's not about the land. It's about a very twisted group of people who thrive for hate.
Right.
And sanctify death. We sanctify life.
And that's even straight from the motto of Hamas, that they say, we love death as much as our enemies, the Jews, love life. Hamas is...
It's our sorrow that our neighbors are like that. But God has put them there for a reason. To unite us, that we should be united. Because Am Yisrael is a very unique nation. Ever since we became a nation, we became from 12 tribes to become one. So we are very opinionated, and we have so many streams. And in one family, you have lefty, righty, religious, non-religious, and we all love each other, and we accept each other. But that's part of being a Jew. To be a Jew is to accept every possible way of thinking. Because, when you learn Gemara, you see, this one says that, the other one says the opposite, this one says that. And At the end, we came to some conclusion, but
Yeah.
but
Two
it's
Jews,
written
three
there.
opinions,
It's
right?
written there. Yeah, every Jew, three opinions.
That's right.
So, but to see us that diversity is okay, but unity is more. We need to be united. And this war united us, but I feel very sad that we have to go through something like that to be united. Because at the end of the day, throughout the Jewish history, there was always diversity. There were also many, many groups among Jews, no matter what timeline we lived in this earth. So let's not fear, because one group is not going to take over the other. One group may shine more than the other. One group may be more significant than the other, but all groups exist in peace. We are allowed to say what we feel, what we think, politically, economically, socially, culturally. It's okay. But at the end of the day, when we sit and eat, we are one group. We love each other.
And that's something not just unique, but I would say extremely beautiful about the Jewish people, and contrast that with Islam and these terrorist organizations radicalized by Islam. Their perspective is you need to be exactly like us, and if you're not, we will jihad, we will conquest, we will conquer you. Whereas the Jews, they truly desire a state of peace with all people.
And that's the most dangerous one. There is religion and there is a dogma. And dogma is the most dangerous society for humanity. Religion is beautiful. What is the religion asking? To love God, be thankful to God who created us and gave us this world and gave us everything possible that we can thrive. And to know that we are to take care of one another. You know, Rabbi Akiva, I'm bringing him again, yes? He said, ואהבת לרעך כמוך, זהו כלל גדול בתורה. You love your fellow friend. This is the most significant and important law of society. Comes someone else and said, Jewish people stand not just for love your friend as you love yourself, but one more, which is much harder. מה ששנוא עליך, אל תעשה לחבריך. Whatever you don't want to happen to you, don't cause it to the other. It's a much more difficult, I would say, character refinement of humanity. So you know people all over here, the young, the youth, especially I talk to you. You know you don't want someone to come and shoot either you or your fellow friend or do horrible things. You know you don't want that. So when you see someone does it, watch out. Watch out. I mean, use your better judgment and differentiate between truth and false. This is our obligation as a human being.
I
it's
absolutely
also
love
our
that.
privilege to be able to differentiate between the two. Thank you.